Hey y'all, what's going on? It's your boy Terrence. Hey, so I'm just now starting back to get up on the channel and start back uploading everything like that. And I figure I go ahead and do a review of the Landcruiser, um, just in case people have any questions about what they see on the channel. So we're gonna start out, with the video. It's a 1997 Landcruiser 40th edition, and I'm gonna go over all the bells and whistles, all the goodies, all the upgrades, everything that's been installed on it, and we'll go from there. Also, sorry that the truck is dirty. I was gonna clean it before I did this review, but I figured why not? Let's go ahead with it. I went to Hasman Acres yesterday and did some rock crawling there, so things was pretty fun. So we're gonna move on with it. All right, so first thing first, we're gonna start right here at the front with the front bumper. It is made by Slee. Honestly, it's one of the favorite bumpers that they offer, in my opinion. A lot of people go with the ARBs with the big hoops over the top and everything like that, and those look cool, but I really like how this bumper offers a decent amount of protection while at the same time not looking too atrocious and taking up a lot of the body lines. So in my opinion, I'm really liking it. So next thing is the Warren winch. This is a Warren 10,000 pound winch, and man, it works flawlessly. I mean, it hasn't done me wrong at all. I have the steel cable in there right now. I do have synthetic in the back, but man, I'm kind of have mixed reviews about if I want to swap over to synthetic or steel or not. I've used both, and I've just had serious situation where steel just helped me out a lot. As long as you take care of it, I feel like it'll last you longer, if not better. So next, I have a factor 55 ultra hook on here. Man, this thing is just wonderful. It just hooks up to everything. I mean, you can put a D-ring in it, you can put soft shackles in it, like whatever you need, it just does it. Next is just these little cheap HID lights. I don't know much about them. They was on here from the previous owner, but although they do look really good, on the truck. They really give it that old retro look, and that's one reason why I haven't taken them off yet. But as we speak, I'm actually waiting on some newer lights to come in the mail right now. I'm gonna be replacing these with LED lights. They're gonna be 9-inch round, so they're still gonna have that round retro look, but they're gonna be LED, so they're gonna put out a lot more light. Only one of them works. I tried to replace the bulb on one, but I could not figure out how to open it. It's like it's sealed or something like that. So the one that does work, the beam is so spotty. I don't see how I can get any real use out of it because the beam just points in one spot. It doesn't really help me much at all. So next thing is the Safari snorkel. I just installed this thing about 2 weeks ago. I've only done a couple trips with it so far. I mean, works great. I did notice that my air intake temps were a lot lower. So hopefully, I don't ever have to use it, but if I do, it's there. So now we're gonna come around to the side to the sliders. These sliders are custom built by a shop in Knoxville, Rocky Top Customs. They did a wonderful job getting these things on. My truck does not have cats, and they did a good job of welding that arm to go around where the cats were installed at. So next I'm gonna go over the wheels, and these wheels are by SCS. Pretty nice wheels. These are 16 inches. I like 16 inches because it makes the tires look way more beefier, in my opinion, on the truck. And so we have those wrapped in some open country Toyo MTs. They are 37 wides. They measure out 385 70/16s. And the thing about these tires, they actually measure out to a 37.7, which is pretty much a 38. And as you can see, they look pretty beefy on the Landcruiser. I mean, they really fill it up. They do cause some issues though. So right here, I actually have to do a chop right here. I'm going to have to chop this bumper maybe a couple inches or so, remove this end plate and put it forward, and then re-weld it on there because it rubs real bad. Sometimes it rubs on the frame in there at full lock, but I think I just learned how to drive the truck without having to do that, so it's not too bad. And then back here, as you can see, this tire is almost destroyed because there was a metal piece right here that used to come out at a sharp point, and at full flex it just almost destroyed the tire. And it also rubs inside the frame sometimes in there, but nothing too crazy. But that is an issue that I have to address. All I did here was took a saw grinder and I cut this off, and that pretty much solved my issues. So now we're gonna move around to the rear. This is a custom bumper built by Rocky Top Customs out of Knoxville. Really great bumper. I've beat on it so much, it's crazy. It's nothing too crazy, it just has a tire swing out with the big old 37 on there with a high lift jack and a jerry can holder. But man, it is solid. It is an overbuilt bumper and I love it. Here's a little shot of it underneath. You know, I've always thought about removing this and installing this long range gas tank, because man, these things do drink a lot of fuel, and sometimes you're out in the sticks, you get a little worried sometimes. Oh, now just give you guys a little demonstration of how the bumper actually operates and opens and things. So you have a latch here, and you kind of just push it in, pull out, and it just opens up like that. And it is kind of a cam lock, and it's pretty much the same thing for the other side as well. But man, is it sturdy. It does rock a little bit. When I had the 35 on there, it wasn't that bad when I had the 35 on there. Then once I put the 37 on there, I noticed that it does rock a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So next is I'm going to speak about the rooftop tent that's up top. So it is a Badlands rooftop tent. It's a 2-person rooftop tent, and it's the neat thing about it is it's only 3 inches. Literally, it's only 3 inches. And I wasn't going to put anything on top of the Landcruiser at all, because the Landcruiser is already top heavy as is. So, and I didn't want to put anything on top of it, but that thing, it doesn't even weigh 100 pounds. It's about 90 pounds, and with how thin it is, you know, I didn't want the rooftop tents that look like almost 12 inches thick. I just didn't want to run one of those. So I opted to put the Badlands rooftop tent on there, which I actually got a steal for. These tents go for about, I think, anywhere between like $1,300 to $1,600. Don't quote me on it, I'm not sure. But a friend of mine posted in the off-road group that he was selling his because he was moving out of town and starting a new life. And he sold it to me for 500 bucks. And even though I wasn't going to put a tent on it, that was a deal that I just couldn't pass up. So I'm not going to deploy it right now, but I will add a photo into the video so that you can see how it looks when it's open. So next is the TNT roof rack, and this thing was on there when the previous owner had it, and he sold it to me, and it mounts up perfectly with everything. Now the thing about this roof rack is I've looked all over to try to find parts for this roof rack so that I can like mount accessories and everything like that. And when I type them in, it shows an Australian-based company, and I try to find what type of roof rack that is, but it doesn't seem to show. So maybe they don't produce the product anymore, or maybe they don't support the product anymore. I'm not sure which one it is, but either way, I cannot find any like support for that roof rack. You know how they can sell like the aftermarket stuff to where you can clip on jerry cans, like, you know, you can put different, you know, aftermarket supports for Pelican cases and stuff like that. So I can't find anything for anything like that, but I'm pretty nifty. I can really make some mounts of whatever if I really wanted to, but you know, just something to be aware of. But I mean, no one maybe not be able to find these things anymore anyway, so that's that. Oh, and also it has an ARB touring awning on it. It's not nothing super big. I mean, it's wide as what you see, and it just comes out, you know, maybe like 4 or 5 feet. That's about it. Nothing too big, nothing too big, nothing too crazy, but it does the job. And like I said, I wasn't trying to put too much weight on top of the Landcruiser. I have a 2005 Toyo Sequoia that I have one of those big like 12-inch Smitty built rooftop tents on, and I have a long awning that goes from like the A pillar all the way back to the D pillar, and it's pretty long. It almost extends past the windshield a little bit, but it's it's great for like when I bring my kids out. This thing right here is more built for the tougher stuff, like the more the rock crawls and stuff like that, and the crazier trails. It's not really my overland rig, if I would say, but at the same time it kind of is. So that's why I didn't really want to put all that up on there. So next I want to talk about the suspension and what's done underneath the vehicle and things of that nature. So what we have on here is we have the Dobson springs 4-inch lift with Ironman 4x4 shocks. We have a Panhard bar aftermarket. I'm not sure what it is. Previous owner had it on there. And also this steering dampener, I'm not sure who it's made by. Previous owner also had that on there, so I'm not sure what that is. We have the Delta radius arms. These things are beefy, like they seem like they're like really stout. I like the way they look, and also the truck drives like a dream on the truck. I mean, I can drive 80 miles per hour, no problem at all. So while we're talking about suspension, I'm gonna also bring up the gears. So it is re-geared on 488 Yukon gears, gears and axles. It's on 48 Yukon gears and axles, and so far I've had no issues out of them. They are really good. My friend has a Landcruiser with 410s in it, and he's on 37s as well, and I think that our acceleration is about the same, even though my truck has way more weight on it and has bigger tires. So I think the 48 is actually doing a pretty good job of kind of help keep that pep into that little 4.5 motor, doing what it can, because we do dog these things out. So on the inside of the truck is pretty much stock on the inside of the truck. There's nothing fancy, but I'm going to show you a few things that I have. The scan gauge here. It just plugs into the OBD2 port, and man, this thing gives you just a peace of mind. It scans your temperature, your volts, air fluid reading, like everything. It just gives you a peace of mind. I have like a little phone mount. I'm planning on doing some more extravagant stuff in here, but other than that, there's nothing really special going on inside of here. So now we're going to go on the hood, and the only thing that's different here is I do have a dual battery setup, as you can see there. This is not going to stay like this. It's like this now, but I actually I'm going to either one, I'm going to reroute it all the way around, or two, I'm going to wrap this in some heat wrap and call it a day by. It's been fine, but they're just for now. But I do have the ARB air compressor in here. I mounted up the ARB air compressor right there to the dual battery. Looks good so far. Everything works. Here's my isolator for the dual batteries right here. Just something I bought off Amazon, had a lot of good reviews, so figured I'd give it a shot. I got the wires ran underneath my snorkel, everything tucked into here. I have the windshield washer fluid bottle relocate from Slee. So actually this battery tray also, it's another thing I need to add. It's a Slee battery tray kit from Slee Off-Road, and the way the kit comes is it's for the battery tray, but it has an option for you to buy with the ARB compressor not with the compressor, but to be able to mount the compressor. So the tray goes in here, you mount it all up, which I have an install video that I'm going to be uploading on how I did all this as well. And then the ARB compressor is mounted to the back of the battery tray. So it's, in my opinion, it's the best thing that you can do to go ahead and just knock it all out at once. And then also I had this as well, so I just did everything in one day, knocked it all out in one day, bada boom, bada bam. But yeah, guys, other than that, that's pretty much everything. Give you one last little walk around the truck. That's pretty much everything. Like I said, this thing is a blast to drive. It is so much fun. I've taken it everywhere. I mean, I've done a 40-hour trip in this thing in 1 week, and it just took it like it was nothing. It just kept going. yeah, so, oh yeah, it does have some dents and dings in it. You can hardly see it, but man, I know what I'm doing with this truck. You know, I take it off and I abuse it, you know, and everything. So, you know, got dents and things here. I have scratches all down the side, fender flares falling off. I mean, you name it. The hood paint is peeling. I have hood risers. They're just some hood risers I bought off Etsy. They were like $5-10 just to help vent some of the heat in the summer. I noticed maybe 5 to 8 degrees on average that the truck runs cooler now since I've installed those, so not a bad investment. Oh, how could I forget? I forgot the probably most important question that most Landcruiser owners are gonna ask. Is it triple lock? Yes, it is triple locked. It's factory triple locked with the factory e-lockers. So let me show you that right here. So there it is right there. Front and rear. But yeah, so yeah, it is triple lock. I mean, that was actually the reason why I bought it, because I was looking for a bunch of Landcruisers, and all the ones I kept seeing for the price that this was, they didn't have lockers. And this guy came across Facebook Marketplace, and he had this one for sale, and I got it for a deal that I just could not pass up. And I called my wife and I told her, I said, hey babe, I think I'm gonna go get this truck. And we went that same night, drove 8 hours to go get it. And man, I've been nothing but happy with it since. I mean, it has really brought joy to my life. So, but you guys look forward to seeing more of this on the channel. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or on any of my other videos. I pretty much go off-roading about every other week. I get out. I would say at least once a month I get out and I go off-roading and camping. Sometimes I go 2-3 times in a row, like just back-to-back weeks. And then sometime I go a month, take a break, and then get back out. But either way, you're gonna be seeing a lot of videos coming. And y'all just stay tuned, subscribe, like for more. Thank you.